Okay, we are live, and this is another episode of Real Talk. And tonight's topic is situational depression versus clinical depression. We are live, and this is another episode of Real Talk. It happened again. It always happens on my show. I told somebody earlier that's just going to be my intro of me repeating myself. Because there's just no way around it. It has happened every time, and this is my 20th Real Talk.
I'm guilty of it too. I had to admit it myself. So.
Well, hello, Remi.
Hello.
So good to finally see you and interact with you face to face. Remi and I have probably interacted for about a year now on live stream chats, but never really one-on-one like this.
Yeah, this is definitely the first time. And we've both been on panels, but I don't think we've ever been on panels at the same time.
Yeah, I don't think so either. And if we have, it was probably on a pretty large one where we were both probably just, not talking together, but listening to everyone talking at the same time. Yeah. So, Remi, I opened up a lot about my depression a week and a half ago. I've said it before on my channel and vlogs and stuff, but you and I got to talking about the difference between clinical and situational depression. And you said something pretty profound in a Twitter message, and I ended up putting it in the description of this video because it really hit home with me that there really is a difference. And I thought maybe you could tell me a little bit more about what you know, because you studied the medical side of it, right?
Right. Mm-hmm. I have, and I've also experienced depression, and I've never really talked about it. This is going to be like the first time, so I'll see how that goes.
Hey, there's always a first.
When a lot of people talk, when you see like commercials on TV for Prozac and stuff like that, that's mostly what people think of when they think of clinical depression. You're thinking that there's a chemical imbalance in the brain. Your brain is possibly not producing enough serotonin or norepinephrine. So it needs a medication to kind of boost that. Now, the reasons for that, they could be diet, it could be a disorder, it could be, any number of things that actually cause it. But sometimes there are people who are deeply depressed for realistic reasons.
Yeah.
That may go to get a medication. And if you have real reasons to be depressed, it's not gonna, even if you change the chemicals in your brain, it's not gonna change what's going on. And usually that depression is not gonna go anywhere.
Well, like you said, if you have a real reason to be depressed, because sometimes people are literally depressed and they don't know why. But then there are people that you'll say, what's wrong? And they seriously have a reason.
They really do. They can tell you, my life's a mess, or, I just lost a loved one, or I just ended a relationship. These are emotions that people are meant to feel. And that's why they're there. They're there to make you grow, or to help you see something, or to help you move on from something. It's part of development to have those emotions.
I just realized there's a few people in the chat we could say hello to. Patty is here, okay. And Alien, and Leah, Ability Mom of Two. Hello, everyone. Hello, Forest Army.
Hey, how are you guys?
Alien, I have talked, Patty and I have talked on the side too, and they understand depression as well. Feeling, you talked about, it's important to feel what we're feeling, because sometimes when we feel is the only way to actually heal. Did I just make a rhyme?
You did. That was very poetic.
I didn't ask you this, but you said that you were a medical student. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
I'll just give you a quick rundown of my education. I was a little bit wilder as a kid. Not wilder, but I had extremely strict parents, and I just didn't want to listen to them, and I kind of left, so I quit school.
Oh, okay.
But
you were studying medicine? We were studying medicine?
No.
Oh, I don't know why. Okay.
When I was in high school. So I quit high school, but I did get my GED. And then after I got my GED, I decided to get a CNA license. And I got that and a diploma in health occupations. It was just like a little tech school thing. And then I was like, this is okay, but I really don't want to do this. But school wasn't as bad now that I'm not in high school anymore. You know, I was like, so maybe I'll try it again. So then I went and started working on an associate's degree. And I got about 3 classes from the associate's degree, and I dropped out.
Yeah, just, I mean, school's not for everyone.
There's a repetition of this. But I got back in school. I went to USC. I finished USC. I double majored in psychology and sociology, and I did my cognate in business management. And I decided that, you know, I really did like psychology, and I wanted to get into a psychology program, and those were like extremely competitive, extremely hard to get into. For the type of things I wanted to study. I wanted to be one of those people who did more of the research type of thing. I didn't really want to be in an office with other people. I was more interested in studying rats and mazes and things like that. But that was really hard to get into. But there was a program at my medical school next to USC, you know, and it was for rehabilitation counseling, psychiatric rehabilitation counseling, which was kind of a combination of psychiatry and counseling geared toward people who had been injured and had like a new life circumstance to deal with, all the way to people who had mental disorders. Just kind of the whole gambit of anything psychological that could happen, both organically or just genetically or, you know, accidentally. And how to live life past that, and how to treat things past that. So it was, you know, addictions counseling, helping people adjust to new disabilities, things like that. And it was a really good program. It was really interesting, but I was severely depressed when I was in this program, and I was having a whole lot of life issues.
Did you know you were depressed, or did anyone else know you were? I mean, were you open about it?
No. Like, I knew I was depressed. I had like maybe 1 or 2 people that I spoke with about it, but I had gotten so used to isolating myself and being okay with that like nobody really knew. It was to the point nobody really even knew I existed. I was just like a ghost, you know.
When was this? What age? What year time frame?
This was in 2011, 2012.
Yeah, not that
I've
long
been
ago.
depressed many times before that. But that was pretty detrimental because I was also becoming ill at the time, and I didn't understand why. And just, I was really sick, and I would go to hospital, and they weren't finding anything out.
Were you alone? Were you living alone? Did you have family support nearby?
Like, my father lived close by. Me and him had an interesting relationship. Like, I was really on bad times, and I asked if I could come live with him, but he was like, no, but I'll rent you a place to live. So we did that. Wow. Yeah. And so he was like 10 minutes away, and I went and saw him almost every day. But that was really it, you know, just like my dad. And I was pretty isolated, and I was sick all the time. I really didn't care that I didn't have anybody to talk to. I was too much in pain, and I was too much vomiting, and it was just...
Did you know what your sickness was?
I had no idea.
Oh, wow.
And they couldn't find out. They were doing all these intestinal scans and not finding anything. They were doing just like all kinds of tests. And they just weren't finding out any information. And it was just a really, really rough time in my life. And that's actually how I became a cat person. I was always a cat person, but one of the worst nights of my life, I mean, I was like on the floor. I just thought I was going to die that night. And this cat had found a way to sneak in through my bathroom pipes and climb up right into the bathroom and came into the living room. And she just stayed with me the whole night. And it's like she knew something was wrong and she wasn't going to leave me by myself.
Yeah.
And
There's a term, animal instincts, for a reason.
yeah, and it just like she just appeared out of the blue. So I mean, it was really like a huge thing for me. I've always had a very soft spot for cats since I have 14 right now because I help foster them out.
You're
Yeah.
not the cat lady, you're the cat guy.
Yeah, I'm the cat guy, man. I got a house full of cats.
Ray, are you familiar with Ray Hayden?
Yes.
He loves cats too.
Yeah. Every time he sees a video that I have that has like a little cat in the thumbnail, he's on that video like that.
Hey, John Puppet Man, Ivan Fan Watson. That is a long YouTube name. And hey, vlogger, how are you? Yeah, Ray. Ray is almost like I don't know what to call it. Not a vet, but he boards for cats and helps them pass on. And I don't know exactly what he does, but he is a big cat guy. Lots and lots of cats. Hey, Studio Geek. So wow, that's kind of a cool story. So you had this cat just come out of the blue and pull you out of your mind that you were wasting away?
No, just it gave me comfort that something cared, that something was out there, that something actually.
What happened the next morning? I mean, what got you up off the floor?
The attack stopped, and I felt okay again.
Aww.
But I kept the cat.
What do you mean the tag stopped?
What would happen was I was having like these attacks, like these like stomach attacks that a few ERs at the time were starting to refer to them as abdominal migraines. It's like all the symptoms of a migraine, but inside of your stomach. And it would feel like and it showed up like this one time on an X-ray out of many, many, many X-rays. But one time it showed up like this. It felt like my insides were actually trying to digest themselves. And it showed up as telescoping actually on one of them once. But it was like my stomach was just going crazy. It felt like two people were pulling on opposite ends of my intestines, and just like extreme pressure that would drop me to the floor, make me extremely nauseated, cramp for about 6 hours, and then it would just suddenly stop.
Sorry, that was my alarm. Oh my gosh, and you had to do this by yourself? Is this still continuing to happen, or is this something that
this still continues.
Oh, Remi.
It's happened a couple of times this past month, maybe 2 or 3, maybe 4.
Oh, wow.
But I learned to pay attention. Certain foods would trigger this. So I learned to start avoiding those foods, and that really helped stop some of that. But I was getting pretty depressed. This stuff was happening all the time. It had been happening about 4 years. They're not finding out anything. I went from 240 pounds down to like 100, and around this time it was like around 140 or 135. And I got down pretty low. I got down to like 107 pounds. But I was vomiting all the time. And I was pretty hopeless. I just like didn't even think I would live anymore. I was like getting high. I didn't even care. I was doing anything to just stop all of that. And then I went to work one night, and I got to work and I didn't feel right. And I honestly thought like by this time, this is a couple of years down the road again after, so I'd been getting high a couple of years now. And so I just thought the reason I felt odd was because I didn't have anything for the past few days. So I took much, much more. I rolled up this huge thing to smoke. And
you rolled up a what?
It was a combination of synthetic drugs.
Okay.
It was the equivalent of, I guess, speedballing.
Yeah, because it helped with the pain, and you just.
It was an hallucinogen, an opiate, and a stimulant. And I felt really funny. I was like, "Oh my God, I'm going down." Just like, you know, like I knew I was going to pass out. Like right after that, I could see a little bit of red and everything.
Wow.
And the next thing I know, it's like 3 a.m. and the door is open. And I should mention I was a security guard. So when the door was wide open, I was laying on the floor. My head hurt. My first instinct was like, did somebody just hit me in the head or something? And it took me a minute to realize everything. And when I tried to move, my head was killing me. It was like massive. I mean, my head just hurt. And so I managed to make my way outside. And I was like, you know, maybe this headache will go away. So I tried to get high to make the headache go away.
Wow.
And that wasn't helping. And I was like, you know, this is not working. So I called like my dad. And then I called my friend who was a nurse. And my friend who was a nurse was like, call an ambulance right now. Stop messing around. And so I did, and I went and I got a brain scan and everything. And you know, they said I had a concussion, but nothing major. Nothing to worry about. They said they're not sure what was going on. They said it sounds like my blood sugar dropped really low. That's what they said
Wow,
to
I
me.
was thinking maybe you had an aneurysm or something.
And I was like, okay. And fast forward again, you know, about 2 more years or a year, about 5 years ago or whatever. No, about 1 year ago. I'd actually gotten to a point where I quit everything because I got to a point where I was actually so confused that I thought maybe I had just been sick a few times before and now drugs were causing the problem. So I was going to quit the drugs, and I did.
Wow, just by yourself?
And no, it took a whole lot. But yeah, by myself, but it actually took like every place that I was able to get everything just was seized. So I had nowhere to go. I was forced. But I had been trying for almost 6 months, so it was a blessing to be forced. I had no choice but to quit.
Where did you go?
What do you mean? I did all this at home.
Oh, not in a rehabilitation center?
No.
Oh, wow. Can I ask you, where did you have faith during this time?
No. This is how I came to get it back.
Uh-huh.
I was raised very religious to the point of disgust of religions, and I would have nothing to do with them.
Right.
But this is what kind of brought everything full circle.
Wow. I mean, I can't imagine having some form of ailment that keeps coming with no answer. And yeah, I can see why you relied on the drugs to survive.
I had lost hope. I was to the point that I just like, people were worried, like, well, didn't you worry about an overdose? No. That would probably been the most comfortable way to die at the time.
Yeah.
And it was bad.
So you went clean on your own.
We say on my own, but remember now, every possible place I could have got what I needed from had been seized by the DEA.
Okay,
And
gotcha.
Everything.
Well, I mean, but you did do it on your own. I will say
I did. I mean, I could have went out and got, you know, anything else.
You could have turned
make it
into
easier.
stealing things, being completely desperate. Like most that are addicted, they go to no matters to get what it is they need to get. So yeah, I think that you did do it on your own. I think that's pretty remarkable. I've witnessed it firsthand.
I hurt. Oh man, I hurt so bad. I hurt for like 60 days, I think. It was just oof. That was the hard part. Just like it was just like I ate all the time, like a flu ache, and it just would never go away. That was annoying. But like it seemed to be a lot worse than the description.
Okay, but you thought that possibly it became so desperate to you that you thought the drugs did it. You got yourself clean. What happened?
Nothing.
Still having the episodes.
So I thought I had to detox. So it was like 2 months later, and they're still happening, and they're still not finding anything. And
wow. Yeah, bloggers saying Remi is strong. I mean, that's exactly what I'm thinking right now. My jaw, it just wants to drop because of trying to even try to imagine what
it was getting to a point that I was worried that the drugs were going to kill me too. So I really did want to live, you know, as much as I hurt, and I wanted to live so bad.
Yeah, I think you will get to this, but Alien just asked to ask how your music fit into your story, but keep us on the time zone here. What happened?
Okay, where were we?
Oh, you.
I do have problems with
You
structure.
were forced to not get the drugs anymore.
Oh yeah. And I just really started watching what I ate to see if that would help, and it did. It helped a lot. But the nausea was bad, and so after about a year and a half, I did start smoking pot to get rid of the nausea, and to try to help with the stomach things. And that seemed to really kind of do something.
Yeah, I guess you live in a place where it's legal medical marijuana.
No. But when you when you feel the way I did, like, law is not the number one thing on your mind anymore.
Mm.
You know, how am I going to get through until tomorrow is the thing that you're more concerned about.
It's fascinating to me, though, for someone that was addicted to a pretty heavy drug, cleaned yourself off a drug, and then went to marijuana. Didn't that just, why is my alarm going off? I'm so sorry. Explain that to me. How does that work? Because I don't.
Well, you got to remember now, I was a psychology major, so I've spent pretty much my whole 7 or 8 years studying that when I was in college. So I really knew what it could do. I really knew what it had done in research. I really knew how it had changed different things with different people. And so I was like, you know, this might be something I need to try. I've tried everything.
You have a strong mind. You have a very strong mind. Wow. Vlogger says she's a psych major too.
Yeah.
A will to live is still strength. A lot of people would have lost the will to live. Yeah. So the marijuana didn't help.
It did.
Oh, it did help.
Yeah, it did. I started noticing that I wasn't having the nausea anymore.
Okay.
And then the symptoms did start to kind of decrease. And it did get to a point where, you know, I was like, well, maybe I'm not sick anymore. And then I had like a few more stomach attacks, and they started to be more and more rare. But then I had this headache one day. This headache just would not go away. And I kept looking at stuff online about it, and it was like, okay, maybe you're having a stroke. I'm like, I'm not old enough to have a stroke. But my mom.
Was it migraine headache, or where was it a certain spot? Where was your headache?
It felt like it was just like, you know, maybe on the top side here, but it was really sharp, like really sharp pains, and they just would not go away. So I was like, I'm going to lay down, go to bed. This should be gone in the morning. I was like, it's probably just some kind of migraine or something. So I went and laid down. It woke me up at 4 a.m. It was worse. Would not go away. So I went ahead and I went to the ER, and, you know, they treated it, and then they said, you know, we're going to do a little scan and check and see. And I said, well, we haven't heard anything back from your scan yet, but we're looking at some other things, and we think we're going to admit you. It seems like you might have a few different things going on. We just want to, you know, keep you overnight to make sure everything's okay, because this type of headache, we just want to make sure, you know, maybe it's not a stroke, or maybe it's not your heart or something, or we're just going to check everything. And so I stayed for a day, and then they were like, we just want to keep you another day. I stayed another day. And then I was like, can I get out of here soon? And they was like, well, your daughter's going to come on, and she's going to talk to you in a little while.
Your daughter?
Huh?
Your daughter?
Doctor.
Oh, doctor. I'm like, okay, you skipped the whole story here for a minute.
And
I clean my ears out. Okay, your doctor's gonna come out.
Yeah. And so the doctor, she came by to see me, and this
You're
one,
the cat. What's that one? Do you name all 14 of these cats?
yeah, they're like my kids. This is Pearl.
Pearl. That's a good name for that white cat. Aw. So the doctor's, hi Enzo. Enzo's here. Oreo Kid is
Hey,
here.
Enzo.
Hello. Sorry if I missed anyone.
So the doctor, she comes to see me, and I'm like, so can I leave today? I'm feeling good. I'm ready to go.
Okay, so the pain left.
Yeah, the pain had left after that day. The headache cleared up. They had just been making me stay for tests. And I'd had an MRI and a few other things. And
Did you feel like they weren't being honest and upfront with you?
I did. And she came in the room and she sat down on my bed.
Oh, that's serious when the doctor sits down.
The doctor sat down on my bed, and that just like, I was just like, oh man. I was like, something's really wrong with my stomach. And so I said, I was like, so can I leave today? She's like, not yet. She's like, we need to talk about the abnormality. And I was like, what abnormality? And she said, the one in your head. And I was a little bit taken back. I was like, well, what abnormality? She was like, you have a tumor in your brain.
Oh, wow. What a
And she's like, no one told you this. I was like, no, not yet. You're the first. She's like, oh, okay.
Wow.
I was like, well, how bad is it? She said, it's large. And I was like, what should I do? She said, I think you need to get this taken care of. And she said, some more people will be about to talk with you. We're all going to look at everything. And then she just like left.
When was this that you found this out?
Last year.
A year now.
Yeah.
And do you still have the tumor? How are you doing?
I do still have the tumor.
Aww.
I'm doing as fine as anyone
Are you
does.
still having headaches? Are they just monitoring this? Is it growing? Is it subsided? Are you doing chemo? I have so many questions. I wasn't aware.
Okay, let's see. Where do you want to start? Which question first? Where is it?
I want you to keep going with the story of where the doctor left you.
She just left me right there. Like
I'm sitting on the edge of my seat here.
Like my world crumbled. I don't even it as much as I know about the brain. When someone said you have a tumor in yours, it's just like there is nothing that I learned that can fix that.
Is it cancerous? It's not cancerous.
Due to the size of it, they feel like it's probably cancerous. They don't see too many tumors that get that large. It is not growing. They do not know why it stopped growing.
Wow.
To be sure if it's cancer, like he's like, I'm 99% sure it's cancer without doing this. But to be sure, they could do a biopsy.
But where is it? Is it risky to do that?
It's in my brainstem.
Oh,
so
man.
To do a biopsy, they can do it, and they're fairly certain the biopsy is a safe procedure to do. He's also fairly certain that there's a 97% chance that I will have permanent, irreversible double vision from the biopsy. There is a possibility that I wouldn't be able to move my left or right side from the biopsy. And if the biopsy proves that it's cancer, they would resect more, and that could potentially do other things like that. there is a potential that the biopsy alone can make me blind. He doesn't think that's really possible, but he really feels very strongly that I would have double vision.
So you have to make a decision, you know, is this worth it?
Yeah. Is it worth it just to know that I have cancer? And then to know where it's located, to know they could never take it all out. I mean, it's just not possible. So
Patty says her daughter has double vision and she uses special lenses for her to be corrected. Prism glasses. But still, yes, it is worth it. What do you think about that? Have you studied that at all? Considered that? Oh, I don't know why. I do not know why that thing is going off. Hold on a sec. That's going to drive me nuts. I don't even have an alarm on. Okay. Mystery. Sorry.
well, with it not growing. Now I haven't had my yearly MRI. I haven't had it for the year yet. But at 6 months, there have been no change, no growth.
Any of these headaches returning?
Occasionally, but he thinks that that's related to a pre-existing migraine issue that I've had, not the tumor.
Okay.
So the tumor caused numbness in my left leg. And eventually it may start to paralyze me in places. It's in my dorsal midbrain. It is next to my hypothalamus.
Okay.
It is very next to my blood pressure, my heart rate, my all my autonomic nervous system functions. Pretty much, you know, breathing, all of that stuff. That's part of the brain it's in.
Wow. You have strong faith. I know that already from our interactions. It's obviously you're calm talking about this. So I know that your faith is strong. I can already sense how you're handling this. I mean, I feel like I don't even have to ask you, how are you handling this? I can tell that it's by faith that you're hanging on.
Yeah.
Tell me about your music.
I mean, it's
Your music. How does this play into this?
I always wanted to make music ever since I was a kid. Like I always had some type of instrument. Always keyboards, and then it was a clarinet, and it just kept growing and growing from that. And but I just couldn't get it. You know, really, I couldn't. I had horrible timing, and I just never seemed to be able to play like I wanted to play. I had like these huge expectations, which is an awful thing to have about anything. But I had these huge expectations for what I should be able to do based on what classmates could do or what they had, and kind of let that dream die down a little bit. And then I got back into it again in my 20s, and I was a little bit better, but at that time I just was limited to things I could use or software.
I was gonna say, did you even have instruments to play around with?
I think at that time I may have had a digital piano, a keyboard, and a clarinet still. I never
the clarinet.
Yeah, but I never. It's not something that I pick up and play. I mean, I still have it. I played it in high school.
My husband played the clarinet too. Patty asked a question. Can you see the chat, Remi?
No, not with this one. No. Let me flip.
Patty asked, his pre-existing migraines has, I'm not going to pronounce it right, occipital neuralgia been ruled out? Neuralgia? OCCIPTITAL. Occipital neuralgia. Can you explain more about the pain that it caused? I can't pronounce. Occipital, maybe? Occipital or occipital neuralgia.
What are you saying? Occipital neuralgia?
Thank you.
They
Big birds don't do well with Miss Kathy.
they honestly didn't do a lot. They treated them for a while, and the medications kept giving me issues, so they just kind of stopped. And I still have them. They're not frequent, but they hurt.
Thank you guys. They gave me the pronunciation for it. Did I see it? Is that Pearl behind you, or is that another one?
That's Pearl. It's being a bad girl.
No.
But to answer her question, I haven't really had a lot of testing done for the migraines. I have about 2 a year. I'm to the point I just hate hospitals. I love doctors.
My daughter has migraines about once a week.
Oh gosh, I can't imagine.
Yeah, it's tough for me because I don't know the pain, and she's 11, and I hate it. This has been going on since kindergarten. Started about once a month, and then at the age of 3rd grade, it happened twice a week, and now this year it's been like almost once a week. So it's not been fun.
A lot of people say sound and things like that are horrible, but for me it's light. Like if I have one, I can't tolerate any kind of light whatsoever.
But they don't think the migraine is associated with the tumor.
No, they don't.
Because now, are you having pains? When's the last time you've experienced this pain that also causes the numbness in your leg?
No, the numbness in my leg is permanent. That the night that I told you that I went in unconscious and I woke up with the severe headache, I did leave that out. When I woke up, my leg was numb, and it's been numb ever since. And they think that that was caused by the tumor.
Can you walk well?
Yes.
Oh wow.
It doesn't have like nerves. Like it just like I feel it, but it just feels like it's on the verge of being asleep. Not in the painful way, but just like on the verge of being asleep. And it always feels like that.
Wow. And nerves are fascinating. I know I've talked a little, I have no feeling from like here to here and my teeth or anything, but I can move my mouth. I don't have Bell palsy or anything, but yeah, I could have a big booger right here on my cheek and wouldn't know unless I looked at it.
That's kind of the way it is with my leg. I have balance issues, but it's not because of the numbness. It's because of where the tumor is.
Wow.
And so sometimes I'll kind of like weeble, and it'll cause me to slur sometimes. So people probably think I'm drunk or something.
Oh, you know, Patty, I think is really relating to your story here. She says her daughter has issues. Hospitable neuralgia is one of them. Migraines also. They're brutal. Stace can't have light or sound. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that, Patty. I'm looking forward to having Patty back on my Real Talk. She's got a pretty fascinating story to tell too. Y'all are just so inspiring. It's
interesting.
Patty says she'd tell me if I had a hanger. Thanks, Patty. Dustin liked I had to throw some kind of light into this serious talk, right?
Yeah.
Blogger says,
heavy.
Blogger says, I have a little nerve damage too, Kathy, from wisdom teeth removal. Oh, wow. I know, it's just nerves are crazy.
Yeah, they're weird.
Cut a nerve and they say it takes a while they can regrow, but sometimes they don't. Bug Talk says, I got to go, but wanted to come in and say hi. We'll watch the replay later. Take care. Thanks, Rachel. Where did we leave off here? Wow. So yeah, you left me with some pretty heavy news here, Remi. But yeah. I want you to know I'm very inspired by how strong you are to have to deal with this. So this is what you meant by Charlie. I watched a video a week or two ago and you were talking about Charlie. It's real nonchalant. You just mentioned this Charlie and that we'll talk about that later. And I had commented, what's Charlie?
I wanted to vlog about my brain tumor when it happened, as it was happening. And I just could not say the words, I have a brain tumor. And so
you named it Charlie?
Yeah, I named him Charlie. And then, it became these vlogs where I'm walking around at night just, talking about different ways to kill Charlie.
Yeah. Music is so healing. So this is how you're dealing with it. You're creating music.
Yeah, the music.
Tell me about your music.
I started making the music actually before I found out about Charlie. Dissolved Expectations was the very first song I made after finding out I had a brain tumor.
Is there a way you could like play that right now or not? Is that, or do you, I mean, can we do that?
That one might get you a copyright because
Okay.
that one was on my first album. It wouldn't get you a copyright and you can mute it later. I mean, it's not going to give you a copyright strike. Would it give you a
Maybe we can, is it on your channel now?
It's on my channel now.
Maybe you can put the link to it. How about we do that? And that way people can go to it. Type, I don't think I have you as a, I think I do have you as a moderator. I try to put my guest in here so they can add links. If you type hi maybe first and make sure you've, does it show that you have a wrench?
Let me see here.
What was it called? Dissolved Expectations.
Dissolved Expectations.
Do you ever put words to your music?
I did one. I've collabed with a few people who put words, and then one time I wrote words to a song before I was really making my own music the way I wanted to, and I just basically did the lyrics with that one. Me and another person, Alicia Perron. Well, Alicia Perron, excuse me. I have a niece named Alicia who spells hers exactly the same way.
Oh. Yeah, Vlogger was asking for lyrics, but yeah, most of the ones that I've been hearing and listening to the last few weeks here have been all just audio.
I'm trying to track down that link. I know it's in here somewhere.
When was your last pain episode, Remi?
Pain?
Pain.
Like, the stomach pain?
Yeah.
Wednesday.
What happened? What did you do? What, I mean, can you tell me about it?
I woke up in the middle of the night. It hurt really bad. I got up and I did have medicine that I could take for it. So I took the medicine and I waited about 2 hours for the medicine to kick in, and then I was able to go back to sleep.
You just lay there and tolerate it for 2 hours.
Well, I have to, like, it hurts so bad, and it's like such a strong, forceful, and tug. Like, I have to move and stretch into like all these awkward positions to keep the pain down. And then after that, it's done. It feels like something's gonna rupture. It feels like, you know, my what is it?
I don't know. I mean, when my daughter gets her
like my appendix is gonna rupture.
I have to squeeze her head and rub her back for 2 hours. I mean, and I can't. It's so hard. So I can't imagine you being there alone.
And see, this is a stomach thing. Well, I'm not alone now, but there was times when I was alone through this, you know.
Who's with you now? Sorry if I'm being too personal. Just say.
Oh, I'm just not alone now.
Okay.
There's just lots of people.
You have 14 cats too.
Yeah.
Sorry, I got teary-eyed thinking of anyone in pain because I watch my daughter, you know, suffering like that. It just
the vomiting was the worst. Like the pain.
Vomiting, horrible.
The vomiting would be like unstoppable, and if I was having 3 attacks in like a day, there were times when it was that intense. It was like most of my day I was in pain and throwing up.
Okay, so you're in pain anyway, and then throwing up causes you to contract, which causes even more pain. So that's awful.
Right, and I couldn't sleep during any of that. You know, it'll wake me up the whole time, keeps me awake the whole time. I'm vomiting the whole time, and after about the 3rd day of that, you're vomiting blood. You vomited so much that everything's just raw on the inside. And it doesn't even surprise doctors when they see it. You know, they look at it and they're like, well, yeah, he's been vomiting for 3 days. What'd you expect? You know, it's like, and it was just, I thought I was so scared I was going to die because my esophagus was going to rupture. That's what I was afraid of. That's what I was afraid of was going to kill me. way before even finding out about the brain tumor or anything else. It's very scary to finish vomiting and then just see drops of blood just hitting the toilet.
Yeah. Wow. You said you take medication to help with the pain, but it takes 2 hours to kick in. What is it that you take?
It's a medication called Bentyl, and it's supposed to stop intestinal spasms.
Okay.
And I take a nausea medicine just to help keep food down.
And there's no sign of this stopping.
Not really. It's gotten better with my diet and stuff, but the doctors now, they seem to think it may be inflammatory related. I have a few like inflammatory issues, so they're thinking it may be like something like a Crohn's or like an ulcerative colitis or something, because they're seeing lots of just like ulceration everywhere.
Oh.
They don't know what's really causing the ulceration.
Right.
Yeah.
And I guess you've had colonoscopies and everything.
Everything. Twice at least.
What you said your diet helps. What are you doing? What kind of diet are you on? What meal plans?
It's almost like a keto diet. Basically vegetables, and plenty of raw and fresh vegetables if possible, and protein. And then no sugar, no starch. Now, I don't completely do the no sugar yet, but I've cut way down with sugar, but I don't do any kind of bread or anything like that or any dairy.
Hi, vlogger. Thanks for coming.
And that really helps.
Patty says that she's curious about the state Remi is in and the difficulty these days with getting pain relief medication. It's getting rough and very hard for those that need pain relief to get the medication. And that, well, I mean, that's because of all the drug addiction and the FDA banning so many different things. I mean, are you able to get what you need?
You know, I don't know, because I don't really pursue it. I don't think I could get anything from a doctor, probably, because our state has gotten pretty strict on it now. But like when I'm in severe pain, I go to the ER. They give me morphine usually.
Yeah.
And that helps. But as far as to treat at home, no. And maybe they would. There may be a doctor out there that does, and my doctor may even be one that does it. But because of what I told you before, I'm kind of hesitant with a lot of things, and that's one of them.
Wow. So Wednesday you had a pain and you put up a video called Chemistry. Well, how do you title your songs? How do you compose your music? What is it? How do you does it just come to you? Is it a situation?
I tend to name the song kind of around what it has something to do with the song. Like if it's a royalty-free song, usually like Chemistry is, it has a vocal sample in there with a chemistry teacher explaining chemistry to his students, and that's how that name came about. Just that simple. But there are other ones like Dissolved Expectations that just came out of my dissolved hopes and dreams for my future when I got my news. That came out of my depression. That's clearly what that came from. So it depends on the song. Some songs are very tied deeply to my soul and heart, and then other songs are just some song I made.
Just some tune. Well, show me, what do you do to compose? Piano, guitar, digital? I mean, what kind of, how do you do it?
I use a lot of digital instruments, but then I do have, stuff. I have like my mix, like this is a DJ gear right here, basically. This is a huge MIDI control, well, not a huge one, but it's a fuller size piano MIDI controller that controls virtual synthesizers or virtual pianos or whatever. Strings usually is what I use with that. Then like I have a mono synth right here that I use. This is a Korg monologue, and this is a synthesizer. It's called a mono synth because it can only play one note at a time.
Oh, wow.
So, I'm steadily building up more and more gear for what I do. But but stuff's expensive, so it takes a while.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then I have a couple of guitars that were.
What do you do for a living, Remi?
Now I just make music.
Oh, wow.
Before this, I worked with people who had explosive anger disorders and autism.
Oh, okay.
That's what I was doing before this. And then before that, I was a security guard. I've done lots of different things. But music is what I like now. And it's like really what I'm doing right now is equivalent to like part-time work, but I'm gonna do it while I can do it. I'm gonna take advantage of it while I can take advantage of it, and
Right. Yeah.
see what I can make happen.
I know it's funny because, you know, we originally were talking about situational depression versus clinical depression, but the more you got into your story, I'm blown away. I mean, I understand why you want people to feel their feels and why it's important, because you did get addicted. And but wow, you've got an amazing story. Thank you so much for sharing.
Yeah. I mean, it's really, once you've been addicted to something, it's really important. Like you feel like an important need to warn people about it, because the strange thing is, as devastating as it is, it does have some very beautiful moments, but we don't like to talk about those because of the bad things. But there are some very life-changing things that can happen because of experiences like that can really change people for the better, that they would have never been able to realize in a regular state of mind, because they're just that person or that dumb or, you know, just numb to society. But when you have something just completely spaces you out and you're able to see something for what it is without your own emotions behind it, you start to see things a little bit more clearly, and you're like, man, I'm messing up, you know, I'm doing things the wrong way.
Yeah.
It is valuable for learning in some ways, but it's not a recommended tool. It's like I said, it was a last resort for me. You know, I had nothing else to lose.
Where did your faith come into play on this?
Probably when I was at my worst, and I guess like anybody else, you know, I was desperate. I called out to God. You know, I was like, you know, where are you at? You know, are you real? What, you know, you know, I've got a bone to pick with you. You know, I was angry. I said, you know, I was just.
You're not angry now, though?
No, I'm not.
How would you give hope to someone else who is obviously, you have a lot to deal with?
I don't know how I could give someone else hope. I don't.
How are you not angry? How are you holding it together? What do you do? Is it your music? I mean, what is it? How are you doing this? Because I don't know if I could.
I've had so many things to be angry about. Like I was so angry at my childhood, and it gets to a point where like it does nothing. Like if I'm angry about it, I'll still entertain it. If I'm not angry about it, it's not there.
You feel your feels.
Yeah, I guess, or ignore some of them.
It's so inspiring. Wow.
I had a really hard time with it.
Angel's here. Hi, Angel.
Angel, hey. I had a really hard time with it. And I was actually made this Charlie video called The Angel of Death that I never put out, but I am going to put it out. I promised everybody to put it out.
Regarding your Charlie tumor.
And I couldn't talk about it. Like I said, I couldn't talk about it just straight up. So I did all this metaphorical type stuff. And I have this dancer that's the Angel of Death that talks to me in the video. And she says something that makes a lot of sense to me. And like, because I found this out, I was devastated. You know, I got a tumor. I'm going to die. It's the end of the world. Forever. But then she has this line, and I gave her this line because this is the thing that occurred to me and the idea in my head. One day I was just like, you can't keep feeling sorry for yourself. Huh. Did you think you weren't going to die? I was like, everyone dies. Like, so what? You know what might kill you. You know what might kill you, but you're not dead yet. And everybody, it was like this aha moment. It's like, you know, you were never gonna get out of it alive anyway. It could be a lot worse.
I'm so glad to hear you say that. You're not afraid to die. That's probably what's keeping you from not being angry, because the enemy wants you to be angry.
Yeah.
It's not going to solve anything being angry.
It doesn't. And it was something that was going to happen anyway.
Yeah.
Who was I to think that it wasn't going to happen to me, or like, and it's not that it was like
and
that.
You know, there's going to be a much better place.
At the time.
Wow. Pretty cool. So this video, Charlie, I'm looking forward to seeing it. David Snyder, you were there last night. He was talking about the video that he has to B-roll and create the story of his suicide. So this is really cool that I get to hear these stories firsthand. I'm so humbled and honored. And now you're going to make a video and create it. That's awesome.
There's something really like healing about creating, like music, for example. You ask about some of my music. Like, there are some things that I can't put into words, because I started out with my YouTube channel. It started out as poetry. I was trying to promote my poetry book, and I was getting ready to release another poetry book.
I didn't know you had a poetry book.
And well, the first one was nothing for anyone to know about, so I don't really talk about it.
Is it anywhere near you that you can hold up?
I might go downstairs and get one.
Yeah, and make sure that I get all these links. Did you end up finding the link to the your first song? I already forgot the name of it.
I did. I put it in the chat, but I think it blocked it. It did block it. Yeah.
Go.
That was Dissolved Expectations, and that was like really one of the
Dissolved Expectations.
Just the heavy amount, like you can hear like how gloomy.
I want to make sure I have the links to everything that you can promote, like your poetry book and other music videos that you want to promote.
Okay. Yeah. Most of my stuff, like most of my music and stuff that I've released is on iTunes or Google Play, any of those.
Okay.
iHeartRadio.
House of Prayer, which is Angel Dominique. She says you can order it on Amazon. Very cool. She loves you.
I love you too, Angel. Angel's one of my favorite channels to go to.
She's amazing. She truly is amazing. Yeah, you're pretty amazing. I want to pray for you. Can I pray for you?
You can. Mm-hmm.
All right. If anyone in the chat wants to join me. Father God, Remi has voiced his story to me and to others that are hearing about this horrible ailment that you have allowed him to suffer with for whatever reason we can't comprehend. But you've restored a hope in him, and he knows all about you and your son and the eternal life that we all get to live who believe and receive you. Father, he is healed when he comes to you, but if there's any way you can heal him now to share an amazing testimony of your healing, let that happen. Help him through his pain. Help him through these times where he is hurting. I can't imagine the pain he's having, but you already know what it is. You've suffered more of that. Remi knows that too. Help him have strength until your will be done, and it is your will that we want. And help us give you glory in the process. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Thank you.
Yeah, I hope you don't have any more pain. I hope my daughter doesn't have any more pain. I hate to hear anybody in pain. It's horrible.
I'm pretty sure I'll have it, but I'm learning ways to deal with it. So.
Wow. Yeah.
Is there any like particular questions anybody has, or do you have that, like, because I know I've talked about so much already. I don't want to start something without not clarifying.
We've got a lot of amens. Isn't that awesome? We can all come together in prayer like that. There's power in the number. That's awesome. Thank you, everyone, for being here and joining us in that prayer. I'm just dumbfounded, honestly. I can't imagine. If anyone does have questions, please do so now. I will address them in the chat. You know, I don't know if you know Ability Mom of Two. I'm learning more and more of Leah. And forgive me, Leah, if I speak too much, but I know she's addressed this on her own channel. But she has a vision problem to where she's losing her sight slowly. But I did have a question for you. Are you going to have this operation?
No.
You're not.
No.
When did you come to terms with that?
Probably before I had the tumor.
Oh, why?
I've just, you know, when it comes to cancer, the more you know about the treatments behind it, the less sense they make.
Mm-hmm.
And that was purely the case. My father had cancer, and once he started chemo, he didn't last very long. My brother had cancer, and as soon as he started chemo, he didn't last very long either. And I just don't feel like chemo is a wise decision for me.
You don't have to answer this, but how old are you?
I am 38. I just turned 38 April the 12th.
Oh, wow. You're so young.
I don't feel young. Well, I do feel young, but I don't feel like people feel like I'm young.
Yeah. Oh, wow. You have a question, Remi. I missed it, though. I have to scroll up. Alien, ask him where his name comes from.
It actually came, it was actually not completely a mistake. Remi was partially a nickname for a while because like I had dyed my hair like really like red one time, and it was kind of long, and it kind of looked like Gambit from the X-Men.
I want to see a picture of that.
And then so Remi kind of came about out of that, and then it just disappeared. Nobody called me that because everybody who knew me about that was just like not in my life anymore, you know, grow up, move away, whatever. But I decided to use that name, and instead of just using like the last name like LeBeau, I decided to give Remi a different last name. And I was trying to think of something, and I was like, you know, what would, and I can't remember what I was doing at the time, but it was before poetry. I was trying to get noticed online in some way, and I decided to go with Moore. I was like, well, maybe the search results for Demi Moore will bring up Remi Moore. So I was kind of trying to wing the SEO at the time too. And it didn't work out in my favor because nobody was searching for Demi Moore anymore. But to my luck, Remi Ma came along, and now I'm found again.
There we go. Oh, yeah. I didn't even put 2 and 2 together with Demi Moore. Yeah. House of Prayer says that her mom has a tumor in her brain and is living the best life over 10 years. Wow. I didn't know that.
I did know that. Angel had told me that before, and that gave me so much hope when she told me that. And I was just devastated. And I think Angel was probably one of the first people I talked to about it. I mean, she didn't know that, but she was.
That's pretty.
And just her just telling me that really helped.
Yeah, that it forms a great connection. That's pretty cool. That's godly, I think. Leah wants to know what type of accent you have. Where are you from?
Country. No, South Carolina. It's South Carolina, I guess. I mean, I've lived in a few places, so. But
well, yeah, you have an accent too. It sounds southerny to me too. I'm not sure where Leah is from.
Who?
Ability Mom of Two.
Oh, yeah.
Enzo says, Angel gives everyone hope. She is our guiding light. Amen. Yep.
She is.
Yep, she's serving a purpose. It's a good one too. She's doing it for all the good reasons. Ability of Mom of Two, Leah says she likes your accent.
Thank you. I'm glad. I always wonder if people are gonna hate it or think I'm stupid or something. Once they talk to me, they'll be reassured I'm stupid. But
I can pick up
like the judge beforehand.
I'm from Missouri, so I have a little Southern drawl. But the more I'm around someone else with the Southern drawl, I get it. I have to take this call just real quick here. Can you see the chat? It's my sister, and she's looking for her daughter. Hold on real quick.
I'll flip it to the chat.
Hey, I'm doing a live stream, but Taylor went to
Oh, okay, Ability Mom. So you were born in Alabama. Okay.
Invited her down just to hang out.
Little Louisiana from Remi.
I'll tell you later. No, she's coming back.
I've gotten that a few times actually. You know, like Steph Opal is
okay, bye. Sorry about that. That's live.
Another music channel, and she is from Louisiana though. But you really can't. You can tell with her accent a little.
Leah said she was born in Alabama.
Yeah, I was looking at that.
Oh, okay.
My brother used to live right there below there in Panama City, in Florida.
Yeah, I have 4 older brothers, and one of my brothers, and I think it's because he just hung out with a lot of more Southern guys, more redneck kind of guys, and boy, he can talk with that draw, and we get around him Thanksgiving, and then I come home, I'm already talking like my brother, you know. It's like so funny because I'm like, I've been hanging around Bobby too long. My draw is coming out. But it happens. I mean, you can go visit Alabama for a couple weeks and you come home, you know, talking with a lot laid back Southern draw. Well, Remi, I'm fascinated by your story. I'm glad that we went into more of what is going on in your life versus what the title was about. So I may actually change the title when we wrap.
Yeah, we did get a little bit far away from that. Well, not completely far away, but most of the things in my life were situational, you know, brain tumors.
That's true. That's true.
You know, people dying, all that stuff. That's normal stuff. That's stuff.
Alien wants to know if you're going to play for us. Is there anything you do want to play for us? Not to put you on the spot, but.
Oh. I don't know if it's actually going to sound too great. Everything is set up in here right now. I've actually got my song that I'm working on right here.
Hi, Sammy. Patty says just do improvisation.
But it's on a key trigger method, so all it's doing is triggering something else through here. So no, I mean, I can just really play that project that I have open right this second because I can't flip to the other screen and my MIDI is not on. And if I had this up, I would definitely spin some of my stuff on here. But no, not today.
Have you ever considered doing that live, like a live stream of you just composing?
I'm actually trying to get it worked up so that I can have everything in here within the reach of the computer.
Sammy, Studio Geek, wants to know what studio speakers you have.
Which for live or for recording?
For live or recording, Sammy?
I can just answer that. For live, I've got the Geminis that you see right. You actually can see the box for it.
He's saying for recording. Wants to know
for recording, I use PreSonus. I use the PreSonus studio monitors. They're okay. They have a rough kind of high end though, so it's kind of hard to judge that how much trouble you actually have. But I like them. Other than that, they're really good. They're really good to hear through. They're very clear. And this my DJ controller. It's a Roland. It works with Serato. This is a Novation launch key, and that was a Korg monologue.
He says he uses HS8 and SM10M. All this is foreign language to me. What kind of computer, Sammy wants to know?
Lenovo ThinkStation. It's a 8-core. Eight core, 16 gigabytes of RAM. And it has a Radeon graphics card.
I have a Dell. Dell laptop.
I lost the chat again.
Well, I think we're going to wrap this up unless anybody else has any more questions. Hopefully somebody can come and hear the replay. I'm definitely going to share this out again. I'm going to keep you in my prayers, Remi. I have a prayer list right over there, and I'm going to make sure I write down the specifics. I had you earlier on there, and I'm just, I mean, knowing what you're going through, my heart goes out to you.
Thank you. I think I'm going to be okay with it. Whatever I'm doing, it's not growing, and I'm not going to poke it. You know, I mean, if it's not,
yeah,
you know,
I know you're going to be okay with it. I can totally see the strength that you have with this. Yeah, I think God's definitely got a plan, and he's definitely strong in you. So that's a cool thing. It's definitely a cool thing. It's very inspiring. Patty said something here. I'm going to scroll up because it flew past me here. My chat window is shrunk so that I can see it over the Google Hangouts window. So I only get to see like 2 chats.
Patty, I recently bought a Fishman amp and U-looping machine, planning on getting to live streams too. So excited. I hope Remi does the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be awesome, Patty.
She just connected. Are you familiar with Patty? She plays the Array Mbra. I'm totally botching that up again. Mbira. She's going to kill me. It's a pretty fascinating instrument. Have you heard Patty? Do you know Patty's channel, Remi?
I don't.
I'm so glad for you to connect. You're gonna fall in love with each other. That's awesome. Studio Alien, do you watch Patsy? Who does not watch Patsy Houlihan? Where is Patsy anyway? Is Patsy in here? Did I miss it?
I use Ableton.
Patty says just
Ableton, Audacity, and a few others. Patsy.
Patty wants to connect with you.
Yeah, we will connect.
Yay. All right.
Thank you, Ability Mom. I'm just kind of scrolling through some of the comments.
Yeah. It's been real, Remi, but it's encouraging to see you muscle through this. You've got quite a story. Keep sharing it.
You know, after talking about it on here, I'm kind of tempted to make actual vlogs about it on my channel, but I don't know if I will or not. But I'm tempted.
Good. It's healing. For me, vlogging is so therapeutic. So you definitely need to do it. Definitely need to.
I might do. I really might do that.
Yay.
And because nobody knows who I am on this simulator, like, who's that guy? I'm like, it's me. I talk to you all the time. They're like, oh, I don't know what you look like.
Yeah.
I gotta get myself in my videos more.
I was so happy that we got to do this. This is awesome. I hope you'll come back again.
Yeah, definitely.
Yay. And now especially when you do get to connect like this and actually hang out, live streams even become that much more fun. So
they really do.
Yeah. Patty says, I think you should pull in your personal story with your channel, definitely. Yay, yeah, great encouragement. There's Patsy. She was watching Studio Geek and fell asleep. Patsy Houlihan. Well, thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. Thank you, Remi. And I hope anyone who can catch this replay will go check out Remi's channel, and I'll be sure and put those links in there. Let's hook up on Twitter real quick before we end, or after I end this, so I can add those while it's processing, okay? Thank you, everyone. I'm going to stop the broadcast now. Hang on for just a minute, Remi.
All right.
Bye.